It's time to present Scott DuPont to bring you another episode of Finance Your Movie with tips and strategies to help you get your money to tell your story. It's time!
Morning, we're back with another episode of Finance Your Movie. I am thrilled to be here with Yadhu Krishnan, who just, he was the writer, director, and producer of CROSSFIRE. I saw the trailer this weekend. It looks like an awesome redemption revenge movie. I love those kind of movies. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Scott. Thank you for having me here.
So quick shout out. I want to thank Andrea McKinnon from AMCKPR. Congratulations, you got picked up by Vision Films. So we talk about in just a minute where people can see the film. But I want to talk a little bit about the reason you're on this show, and our audience is always interested how you put this film together, how you raised, I guess it was just under $1 million, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So back in 2018, I guess you wrote and direct a short film called Choice.
Yes. Back in 2018, that's where I started to make my own independent shorts.
Okay. And I guess you had worked on a few other projects, but really this was your CROSSFIRE was your first feature, correct?
Yes, this is my directorial debut as well as a producer. I am getting an in-hand experience of right from the script to the screen, the whole process, even with the distribution as well. So, yes.
So pretty big jump. Tell us how you went from that short and how you put CROSSFIRE together.
Yes, so even before the short, right from 2010, when I was doing my studies for Marine, that's when I started tagline writing. I started assisting in screenplays, and I had a brother who was working for a biggest production houses back in India. So I was working for him. I was assisting his teams. I had a group of friends over there. That eventually grew my relationships, and then eventually I had to make something of myself and learn the process of it. So that made me do the first shot, and then after that relationship took me to the next feature where the same brother he roped me as a writer for another movie which we shot in 2019, and that's Escape from Blackwater, which is going to come again end of this year most probably. So that gave me
real quick.
Yes.
Escape from Blackwater, is that a US film or an Indian film?
No, it's a US film.
Okay.
It was shot half in India, half in US. So we had built an underground prison for it, and me and my friends designed that project, and I was roped in as a writer for that. And that eventually gave me opportunity to work with a lot of fantastic people. The cast included was Isia Washington, Louis Mantle, Kevin Gage, Victoria Brandt, and my mentor brother Paul Sidhu as well. So that eventually, that relationship with Louis and Kevin eventually brought me to Crossfire. So with Crossfire, I wanted to experience the other aspects of filmmaking as well, right from producing and seek distribution, the whole pattern of filmmaking on the business aspects also. So
Your
that's
baby.
how. Yes, yes. So that eventually gave me a opportunity to come up with Crossfire, and eventually when I presented the screenplay, they liked it. They wanted to come on board, and then we had everything right from there.
Okay, so let's not jump over the most important part. You have this team around you. You've got a great script. I believe a great movie always starts with a great script. How do you get to just under $1 million? Like where does the funding come from?
Yeah, the thing is, with Crossfire, I had the cast, so I worked out on an exact budget what we could come within this, and action is a bit costlier than all other genres. So making action within that aspect, I had to approach a lot of experienced people so that we don't have a lot of prep. Uh, Especially with my cast like Louis Mantler and Sam Vichek, they were all trained professional people. So the previous what we could do was eventually much more easier than the lot of other action what we could do. So the whole project what I had to raise was less than a million what we spoke. So then I eventually went into investors who I wrote screenplay for other movies. So they were based in Houston, and they tried to help me on it. and one of them came on board. And but eventually during the pandemic he had to take back his decision. But that again took me from initial scratch stage, where I had to work on the networks what I knew. I made a list of people who could eventually help me raise it. And even before reaching to half of the list, my brothers, out of the moonlight, they came up. They said, okay, if you are going to invest half of it and you are going to co-invest with us, then why not we make this movie like a family production, or like a friendly production. So I had two of my friends who had nothing to do with the films. They were they were running IT companies. So they came on board. They said, let's do this and let's get the experience of how it goes, and then eventually let's make more movies. So I had this idea or the mindset that anything if I want to try out in life, I'm going to do it first myself, get the in-hand experience of it, and then bring the professionals connected to it. So Crossfire happened with my family, friends, and yes, my brothers.
Excellent, excellent. So the very, very beginning, though, it's kind of cool. You had a relationship with some of these people you had written for. So
Yes.
they knew your level of writing, and they were kind of the first people to put a little bit of money in.
Yes, yes, it was yeah, the script was intense and they liked it. So we had the cast. I hired a production house, Bad House Studios. They helped me to produce the movie because I worked with them for Escape from Blackwater. So I had a mentor who had to guide me on this process, and that's how eventually I made it as a package. And yes, with my brothers and friends helping on this, we were able to raise that money, and we were able to finish that movie within that budget.
Excellent. How many, two questions for you. And people who see the trailer and eventually see the movie will be interested. How many days did you cut it down to
Oh
keep within
yes,
that budget?
yes, within the budget, if we had to make an action movie, we had to shoot the complete movie in 13 days.
Wow.
Yes,
Okay,
and
so yeah,
eventually
that's the
with
first trick in cutting your budget is the number of days.
yes, yes, the number of days we cut, then we had to check for the exact locations, and the previous has to be in short, and we had to have experienced cast who are already dealing with a lot of action movies. So yes, that's all what
And
we
then
have.
where did you shoot? What state?
We shoot in Mexico, Baja,
Oh,
with the
wow.
Baja studio also incorporated with us. So thanks to my production house who got seek their support as well. We were we had the opportunity to shoot where Titanic was shot.
I was gonna
So
say,
yes,
yeah, that
yes,
it looks so authentic. Like I thought you
yes,
shot in New Mexico, but wow, shot in Mexico.
yes.
Now,
So
are production costs a little bit less there? More
yes,
bang for your dollar?
it's like they have been working with a lot of productions right from say from US, so they know the rates. It's not like they are very they come in a, but they were it's all the relationship, right? When I spoke with them, I said this is my scenario. I had this much of budget, and this is what I could get what we could work with. So they had this mindset, and they tried to help me out with this because since it's my debut as a producer as well, so that relationship keeps growing. Now when I'm going to do the next, yes, eventually I'm going to ask them for again, I'm going to bring them more projects. That's how it does. It's all about relationships.
Awesome. Now, there's a rumor going around that you were so tight for time on one of the days and you're trying to keep it under budget that you had to do this wild car crash, which you actually see in the trailer, and you jumped in the car and you crashed it yourself.
Yes, we had a delay. We had like any independent movie, we had a lot of everyday basis struggles what we had to go through. So we were time bound. We had this schedule for 18 days, but we had to finish the movie in 13 days. And this for later again coming within the budget. So that may push me even to a limit to finish a stunt scene where the LA team weren't able to come fly up. So we had this safety protocols taken on phone, and we had to empty down the fuel tanks to bare minimum, and then we had to take insurance for a couple of things, and then the location permits. We seeked everything, and I didn't want to risk anybody who were in like the stunt team. What we had was basically incorporated for doing a hand-to-hand or combats or anything. So I didn't want them to take a risk. I wanted to finish the shoot on that same day as scheduled. So I took the call. I said I'll do it, guys. I just let's keep within the protocol, and yeah, let's get the scene done.
You okay?
Yes. I was perfectly okay. It was a small hit and crash, but this even after the first crash when the engines were running, I still took the car back and again crashed it to just have a smoke, So that passion, that adrenaline within me for filmmaking, yes, they were aware of it. That's how even in from the last feature, Escape from Blackwater, they were friendly with me and they gave me opportunity to direct. And yes, I shouldn't let them down.
Same pet. You and Tom Cruise doing your own stunts. So, good for you.
Oh, that's way different scenario.
So you have two films right now in pre-production. Are you looking for funding for any of those, or do you have a new project in development?
Within my last 7 years, to all the filmmakers who don't have any network, don't have any experience, my first thing of a piece of advice would be, or suggestion would be, that it's not money that drives any project, it's a relationship. And when you start from script, you will have eventually somebody coming in and showing you their interest, if that it's that a worthy project. Some relationship, even you don't have to seek an investor. I don't go behind investors and ask them for money. I believe when the screenplay is done right from the development stage, when you talk to people about your coming projects, it eventually helps you somewhere at that point. So right now, when I shared my treatment with we have two projects right now: Pay by Blood and Hostage to Politics. So these two, one is an action genre, the Pay by Blood, it's a horror genre which I wanted to work. So these two, one Pay by Blood will be most probably filming by end of this year. That's what my thinking is. So that treatment, when I shared with a couple of producers and investors, they already like the treatment. They want me to finish the screenplay as soon as possible. So that helps me. That gives me a confidence. Okay, I am working on something that's required by the market. So that eventually, when I have the screenplay done, we will lock some of the investors, and yes, we will continue with the projects. Yes.
You just said something so important that almost all of my successful guests who raised $1 million or raised $500,000, whatever their budget was, they don't talk about going out and chasing investors all the time, but they, like you just said, your own words, you talk to a lot of people and you shared the plan. So that's kind of it, right?
Yes, and that gives their feedback as well. Sometimes they are much more experienced than us. They would suggest, okay, this is something maybe this cast can help. So this is some genres, maybe a co-writer can help. This may be a genre, maybe some production houses who have been regularly working on such genres can help. So then I even visited a lot of, like, I visited LA, again Mexico. I went, met a lot of production houses. I found few locations, so that helps me as a writer even during the staging of stage of writing. So right now, yes, I have some few locations in my mind, few characters, few cast in my mind. So it helps me writing, and every stage of writing, I closely discuss the project with a few people who my mentors as well. So they gave me valuable feedbacks, which I eventually work on, and then that helps.
Excellent. Well, I'm really excited just based on the CROSSFIRE trailer. I'm really excited to see it. If you're watching this or listening right now, you can see it, I guess, in a limited number of theaters in Texas, and then it'll be streaming everywhere.
Yes, it will be doing a limited theatrical release in Texas, and we might be visiting, showing a cast and crew screening in Dallas and Houston. That's a plan for now. Dallas for sure, and yes, and worldwide release in US and Canada, including them, and on May 12th, same dates, and exclusively on Prime, iTunes, Google Play, all the platforms. And by June, we assume the DVD is also coming up.
Excellent. So congratulations on Vision Films picking it up. Is there a specific website or where people can get more information on the film?
Yes, for now it would be my personal website where I'm sharing Crossfire details. But yes, eventually I will be making one Crossfire official movie website as well. So my website would be www.yadhukrishnan.com, where you will find all the details of my coming projects, upcoming, and what I have did. So it's
Okay,
Yadhu and Krishnan, Krishnan,
great. And
yadhukrishnan.com.
we'll put that in the show notes and also
Yes.
on the flyer so people can go right to that website. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever saw one of my favorite revenge films was an old film, Kevin Costner. Um, I believe it was Anthony Quinn, Revenge.
Okay. Anthony Quinn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but this is just it looks like a great redemption revenge story. And
Okay.
congratulations on pulling it off for a first feature film that you wrote, directed, and produced. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Scott. Yes. And
So,
thanks to Vision for connecting us and helping us on this. Yes.
absolutely. So, any parting words of advice or words of wisdom for somebody getting ready to go out and put together their first feature, whether it's 250, 500,000, a million, how they can do it and not lose hope?
My piece of suggestion is work with the project. If you have confidence, go shoot with whatever budget what you can raise at that point of time, because it will eventually help you to scale up in your next project. There is no reason for you to say budget is a constraint and not to shoot it. So my initial budget and my actual filming budgets will be never the same for indie specifically. So budget is not the constraint. Go shoot, but in a very you study the markets, you see how you can recoup the money, and I would suggest investors also to learn the market, learn the business side, and same for all independent filmmakers. You do within what you have. This project, even if it's a success or failure, even if it's a failure, you will learn the craft. If it's a success, that will lead you to the next project. And even if it's a failure, at least you will have something of your show reel to show people, okay, this is what we did. If we have a better budget, we can do much more.
Excellent, excellent. Great, great words of advice. Yadhu Krishnan, thank you so much for your time. And I can't wait. I'm going to check out Crossfire here probably next week. So can't wait to see it.
Yes, May 12th, it's coming up. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Vision Films. Yes, thank you. Thank you all.
Thanks for listening. And remember, it's time!
There's never been a better time to make your own indie film. And if you have a dream project you're excited about and 100% committed to getting it funded, go to financeyourmovie.com and click on the green telephone button. You'll see our calendar, and if you find an open spot, grab it. You'll get a one-on-one call with me or one of my partners. It will be the best hour you've ever spent getting clarity and strategy towards financing your movie. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next week.